Getting ready for the popcorn moment. There we go. Brought to you by Booher. Booher, BooherRemodeling.com. Your kitchen, your bathroom, your basement. These are the people. And they do the work. And I have started the conversation about it's not a full remodel of the kitchen. It's like a partial remodel of the kitchen. And so I've been staring at the proposal because it's amazing. It really is. They came, they took a look, we had a conversation, we engaged ideas, they measured, and what they sent back is just so incredibly detailed. You know everything. Every step of the way. Here's how we see this going. Here's what we see it looking like. Here are your options. Here's an opportunity. You can reduce here, increase there. You've got all the tools in one place. When you deal with Booher, you can make the changes as you see fit. You can ask questions and get answers. You know exactly what it is they're answering. You're in control. This isn't getting away from you. It isn't too complicated. It isn't stressful at all. It's an incredible process. Their 5-step design process makes it so easy. Talk to Booher Remodeling today about making that kitchen your kitchen. Call Booher, 317-852-5546. Tell them Tony Katz sent you, 317-852-5546. Booher Remodeling, 852-5546, or online at Booher, Booher. BooherRemodeling.com. The popcorn moment. Let's go. It's a story you need to hear to believe. Then grab your popcorn because there is more. I'm Tony Katz, by the way, if we haven't met. Hey, how are you? How's your mother? 93 WIBC. Good morning. Good to be with you. Live streaming, youtube.com/WIBC. It's good to see everybody. Good to see everybody in there and chit-chatting in the chat room. To tell this story is to tell some backstory. And the backstory is about a woman in Los Angeles who was kicked out of a Gold's Gym. Why was she kicked out of the Gold's Gym? Her name is Tish Hyman. And she was kicked out because there was a man in the women's locker room. And she's like, what is this? This is nonsense. Gold's Gym, she wrote, terminated my membership after the man was escorted out by police. They had me escorted out by officers afterwards. It was embarrassing. I left, but not before making sure everyone knew that they were allowing men in the locker room. We've been through this story before. Men are not women and women are not men. And it seems very obvious to everyone who is of a rational mind that the political left is totally okay with women being abused. Young women being abused, being pushed to the side, told to take a back seat. It's still happening, and it's still ugly. I take you now to San Francisco, where there's a state senator by the name of Scott Wiener, and this is a progressive's progressive. And in his history, he has taken, for example, people like Riley Gaines to task because he wants to tell you that men who say they're women are actually women.
A swimmer from Kentucky who complained that a trans woman tied her, and because of a tiebreaker came in ahead of her. What she neglects to mention is that they tied for 6th place because 5 cisgender women finished ahead of the trans woman who was swimming, and that became a cause célèbre as some sort of argument against trans participation in sports.
What became the story was the locker room and everything else. And moreover, why are we allowing this to happen? But Scott Wiener doesn't care. Scott Wiener is not in favor of a standard. Scott Wiener is in favor of destruction. It's gross. The fact that he might be a gay man or anything else himself is inconsequential and doesn't give him any rights. Or any special rights, right? You're not somehow engaged with more caring or giving because of your religion or your sexual orientation, etc. Which brings us back, as I was saying, to this woman, Tish Hyman, who is there at some town hall asking Scott Wiener about this. And she wants to make the argument that as a black lesbian woman that somehow she's got more of an argument. I put forth to you that she doesn't. She has the standard argument, the same argument that Scott Wiener can make or I can make. It's just a question of whether or not the argument is moral, whether or not the argument holds water, whether or not it's factual. Now, I did listen to this a couple times, Producer Carl, but finger on the dump button just in case. Let's start with the basics.
Senator Wiener, as the only black lesbian here, can I please ask you a question because I flew here to do that?
Yeah.
First of all, that you're the only black lesbian there is inconsequential. But you flew up to ask the questions. You're now asking the question. I think it's weird to start that way. But go ahead.
Okay. As a lesbian woman who was attacked in the women's locker room at Gold's Gym this week by a self-identifying trans woman with a documented history of domestic violence, I'm deeply concerned about women's safety in female-only spaces. What would you say to women who are seeking assurance that their safety will be protected from men who, by California law, can self-ID as women in women-only spaces, sir? Please tell me.
It's a legitimately good question. These men who claim to be women are protected by law. Women are being attacked. Women are made to feel uncomfortable, pushed out. What is the plan to protect women here? Here's the state senator.
Yeah. So we want, everyone to be safe, and we also know that we have trans people, both men and women, who are men and women, and so
that's the senator letting you know that he sees no difference. There is no difference between men and women. If you're a man who says you're a woman, you're a woman. That's what he's saying here. When she starts saying that these are different things, the crowd boos her, and she gets up and starts yelling at the crowd.
Trans women are different things. Women. Listen, we need to protect women's safety. I was assaulted. Women are women. I was assaulted. No, they are not. They are men. I was assaulted by men. He broke his wife's jaw so bad she needed reconstructive surgery. I'm a lesbian. I'm not transphobic, and I'm black. So if there's another black woman in here who wants to tell me how they feel, please join in. But all of you are not. And I don't know who you are, what you are, but I'm a lesbian, and I'm telling you right now, men are harassing women in the locker room.
They are harassing women in the locker room. It is 10,000% wrong. I wholeheartedly agree with you. But you don't get to sit up there on the pomp and circumstance, if you will, just because you're a black lesbian. It doesn't give you more authority. Don't do that. It doesn't. Because they're saying I'm trans and it gives me more authority. It's the same nonsense argument. But now that she sits down after hushing up this crowd, Senator Wiener again.
Sorry that you were harassed,
multiple times,
and I appreciate you talking about it. I think we need to protect the safety of all women, and that obviously that's incredibly important. And I also know that trans women are also brutalized in this country. So women and cisgender women are brutalized in this country.
So he takes her argument and says, well, it happens on both sides, and why don't you feel bad for trans women who are men? And then he goes on to say women and cisgendered women are brutalized in this country. So men who say they're women are women, but women who are actually women are cisgendered women? We're now engaged in that level of wordplay where men who say they're women are the real women, and women who are actually women, well, we have to give them a different title so we can explain them. I'm telling you right now, you can't fight hard enough to ensure that your kids don't buy into this garbage, this hateful, violent garbage. By the way, you're going to know the name Scott Wiener because he's probably going to run for Nancy Pelosi's seat in the House. Thought you should know. Matt Baer has